Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities.
Turnbuckles and Stogies. Yo, what is up? What is up? Yo, happy Sunday. Another Sunday with your favorite hostess with the mostest.
My dad, I'm doing a wrestling match. I looked at her and said, hey, I'm on to Brooklyn, you.
We're not in Brooklyn, sir. We're in upstate New York in Dutchess County. I'm originally from Yonkers. Hung out in the park.
I guess you guys don't know each other that well.
Oh, Yo, what up, everybody? Happy Sunday. We are back with another live episode of Turnbuckles and Stogies. We had to switch plans, change some stuff around, but it's okay because we got another great guest here today. So, as you guys saw, we're supposed to have, hello, there goes the phone.
Bill Alfonso on.
We're supposed to have Bill Alfonso on. We had to change plans and shift gears due to some stuff. It's okay because you guys heard us talk about the Made Fight League last week and the week before that. So we decided to switch gears and bring on the owner of the Made Fight League.
Sure.
Because why not? Right? Let's bring him on and let him talk to you guys, and you guys can learn because everybody's been asking us about it.
Yeah.
So I figured let's switch gears. Let's bring him on. He's here.
What's his name?
Mr. Trap Gambino is here, the owner of the Made Fight League. So I'm very interested to hear all about it and kind of learn more of how he got here and what made him start this and stuff like that. So we are going to get into it. I'm actually going to light up a cigar from June.
So let's
Street Meat Pack. So let's bring him on.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
And here he is.
Yo,
what
how's
up,
it going,
man?
guys?
What's going on?
Man, that's one hell of the military intro. I like that. If you're not patriotic,
we actually work with a radio station out of Colorado who does podcasts and everything else. They're here to give first responders and veterans a voice, and we work with them. They're out of Colorado, MB Radio. It's military owned and run and operated.
that's amazing, man. I felt super patriotic after watching that one.
Well, listen,
you get used to it after a little while.
Hold on, player. And I know you're a player because I see all your stuff going on. Use a player. Use a pimp. Use a pimp, player.
Yeah, something like that.
So tell us because
I had to turn you up a little bit here.
Here's my thing. So we have joined your stuff, right?
Your Discord and everything else.
Discord. He joined your Discord, whatever. So tell us that you wanted us out there.
So how you tell us? Well, no, we'll get. How did you? What made you start this?
So the Made Fight League was basically started because we're going against amateur fighting. We're directly competing against amateur fighting. There's a legal, I guess, stigma. I don't know if you want to call it loophole, if you will, that these promoters use to get rich off of these fighters' blood, and they don't pay these fighters, and they get away with it by calling it amateur fighting. Like literally, these MMA fighters, these boxers will go out, they'll get starched, knocked out cold, and not get a paycheck for it. But the guy in the suit, the promoter, gets rich, and he's selling tickets. Fans show up. It makes no sense to me.
Right.
So we basically started a league to show and prove that it's possible to pay quote unquote amateur fighters and professional fighters, and everybody deserves to be paid when it comes to fighting. These guys are warriors. And funny enough, we wanted to go the whole like real actual combat sports, just strictly combat sports route. And I've always been a wrestling fan. And funny enough, it was almost destiny because our last venue backed out last minute. So we had to panic book another venue, which happened to be a prestigious wrestling venue here in Las Vegas, which is the Future Stars of Wrestling, SW Arena. And it was weird because it's not a boxing arena. It's a wrestling arena. So these boxers are like bouncing around in the ring and stuff.
And it's giving them way too much give and everything else.
It's pretty crazy. So it kind of like it molded our sport a little bit different already. And then when the commission showed up, we had to change a lot of things as well. So it really developed into like from combat sports to combat sports entertainment. So now it's like we're a little bit of pro wrestling and a little bit of combat sports at the same time. So we have like real fights with like story wrestling, like story.
Morning, sunshine. That's my buddy Rich.
Morning. So now you kind of took everything and molded into one, basically.
Yeah, it's almost like it molded itself, really. I just kind of was throwing a bunch of stuff together, trying not to get caught by the commission, and
right.
It was.
Let me ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you this question because I've been in business 35 years. So wrestling and MMA. So what are you more competed towards, MMA or wrestling? Boxing, MMA, whatever you do.
Yeah, fighting. Yeah. I kind of call it all together as well because it's we want to go like full fighting at the end of it, but I'd say I don't know. I'm a mark when it comes to wrestling. Like I'm an attitude era freaking.
How you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm a big wrestler, bro. But when it comes to like attitude era, but yeah, I don't know. I'd say both, honestly. It's kind of developing into both, really.
So now have you considered, I see you promote a lot of the boxing aspect. Have you ever considered promoting like wrestling shows themselves?
Yeah, I want to have like a wrestling match on this event. I just haven't had like some guys, so
right. I mean,
I'm new to all this, so it's like it's weird booking.
Right.
Hello, we're the guys that can get that done.
I mean, how many matches did you want to have for wrestling is the question.
For Halloween Heatwave specifically, right now we'd probably only have like room for one because everything's pretty booked for Halloween Heatwave. But like after this event, we're going to be traveling around and we're going to have a lot bigger investors after this event, so we can actually put money into bringing people out and actually having a team that moves with us. For example, we're going to have like Nitro girls. We're going to call them MFL girls, and they're going to be traveling with us as well. And right now it's like we're trying to develop a stable team.
Can I be one of the
Nobody
Nitro
wants
girls?
to see that.
Can I be one of the Nitro girls?
Nobody wants.
Hey, don't say nobody. I know there's some guys out there.
Listen,
I'm good.
Listen. I could come out with my titties showing and everything else.
That's hilarious.
Listen, this is what we do, bro. Our podcast is no.
To a certain extent, because we've changed some things.
Yes, because we had to change some things because we're on
due to the radio station getting some stuff. We've kind of had to scale some language back. We've had to put some filters on, which is okay.
HR mode.
The end of the day, you got to do what's best for everybody.
Let me ask you this. So we reached out to you, I think over the summer,
something like that.
Posted up that you were looking for producers, background people, podcast people, agents. So let me ask you this. So now you reached out to Joey, the guy right here. This guy.
Why are you pointing your finger? They know.
Mind your business. Mind your business. So you reached out to this guy.
The Vanilla Gorilla.
Yes, sir.
So the Vanilla Gorilla, the boss dog. So you reached out to us and we want to come out there. So now, how is that working with, because I have a friend of mine and my brother that wants us to come out to Vegas at the end of the week, at the end of the month. He's coming out to Vegas. He'll be out there in between the 29th to the 31st. So can you get us out there for your?
So I was gonna say, how do people get to work with you if that's a possibility? How do they reach out and potentially get the opportunity to work with you? Like, we would love to.
So I'm not the guy who hires people, but I do vet everybody. Like I'm obviously the head of everything here.
Right.
But we have the Discord system and all that. But right now we're trying to develop like a sizzle reel for these investors, so I can bring all these guys out that aren't local, like you guys.
Right.
It's really hard to find like announcers and broadcasters and stuff here in Vegas, believe it or not, that know pro wrestling like the Midwest does. And like, I'm from Ohio, so it's just it's a different vibe. And a lot of these people I want to bring out and fly out here and all that stuff, but honestly, it's all out of my own pocket right now. So that's really the biggest thing that's holding us back is we're so new that we just need that sizzle reel for these investors. And after these two events, I can show them like, hey, right here, we made history, combat sports history with this private event. This next event coming up is public, and we're going to have more celebrities and stuff there. And once I put that all together, I feel like these guys have no choice but to invest in us. And once we can do that, we can start traveling around doing our own thing with not relying on FSW to have our ring. We can have our own ring. We can have our own people. And right now it's like a bunch of guys just working together to try to make some magic happen.
They're trying to capture lightning in a bottle to be able to put that on a reel and show these
I'm going to tell you this. If you want the locks to come out, LOX, I can get them to come out. I can get the locks to come out with us.
That'd be cool.
I can get them to come out with us. All I got to do is make a phone call. It's right here in the phone. I can get the locks to come out with us.
I like that.
So, just so you know.
And as
Bro.
far as the wrestling goes, you know, if that's something you're interested in, that's also something, you know, we can help out, especially with knowing, you know, having been around for so long, me having friends that do it as well. You know, if that's something you're interested in, we can definitely figure something like that out too.
I need story guys. Like I'm good at, like, I'm a pro wrestling fan,
right?
But it's a lot easier to put two boxers together and be like, hey, this is a good matchup. You can't do that with wrestling. You have to actually plan shit out and like have a story behind it and why these guys are fighting each other and all that.
I can tell you right now, I that's the hardest part, because I mean, I sat down with a company we worked with as far as storylines go, and I sat down with somebody else who at the time I didn't know. I literally met him over like a Zoom meeting with the owner of the company, and he brought us on to be booker and creative and stuff like that. And I sat down with this other kid, and me and him sat on the phone the first night for like 9 hours and wrote out a year's worth of storylines and then contingency plans. If this guy gets hurt or can't make it, who can we put in place? So it's not easy, but if you have the right people in that system, it's very doable.
Yeah, that's what we're missing right now, is like creative storylines and all that. But I'm hoping after this show we can do that, because right now I just, you know, we have a bunch of people working hard, but they're working, you know, we're working off scraps over here in Vegas, and it's hard because we're doing big things off little fumes, but we're doing.
So let me ask you this, bro, and you reached out to Joey. You wanted to fly us out?
No. He said not now. He said he's got to wait after this event.
Okay.
That's what he said. He's got to wait until after the event because he's trying to put the reel together for the investors, which is smart, because doing all of this, whether it's a wrestling company or like what you're doing yourself or anything, it's hard without the investors.
You know, I learned the hard way the last event. I paid so much money for the last event, and then like I got fucked over on. Oh, I'm sorry I forgot.
It's okay.
No, go ahead.
It's okay.
Just curse.
I got screwed over on like production, like post production and stuff like that. Like I literally had to wait like a month just to get my footage back, and it held me back so much. So now it's like I'm not doing anything unless we have our own money to do it and not rely on anybody else.
Right.
Because it's like if they screw up, then I look bad. So yeah, right now we're working on just funding ourselves instead of having to everybody.
Right. And now, what other venues have you ran? Because I know you said you're running with FSW in FSW's place now. Have you ran like any of the casinos out there or anything like that, or is that kind of
the commission is
big dogs?
Yeah, well, the commission is so on you out here that if you do anything that doesn't look like pro wrestling, they'll try to shut you down immediately. So that's why when they came out to the first event, I literally had to go in the back and tell the guys, which pisses me off. I'm going to do it differently this time, but I had to go in the back and tell the guys like, hey, we're going to have to like do body shots and pitter patter to the head, because the commission's here, so we can't have like any knockouts, and we can't announce winners. Like it was really like, for lack of a better terms, we had to cuck these guys when they're
basically
So let me ask you this: so when you go to Vegas, do you have a lot of cut open everything?
Like what do you mean?
Well,
he said he said they can't do that because of the commission. He said they couldn't do that because of the commission.
Let me take care of that.
He said the commission couldn't do it because
I'll take care of that. Don't worry. I take care of it.
He knows a guy.
I take care of that.
Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
I'm a drifter, babe. Don't wanna love a man like me, no. I'm a drifter, babe. 'Cause I'll be loving you tonight, but tomorrow I'm gonna leave. I'm a drifter, babe. You don't wanna love a man like me, no. I'm a drifter, babe. Alright, 'cause I'll be loving you tonight, but tomorrow I'm gonna leave.
Yo,
We are back.
we are back. Yo, the Vanilla Gorilla, the Boss Dog.
We're live with Mr. Trap Gambino, owner of the Made Fight League out of Vegas. They got a show coming up October 31st. Make sure you guys go and support it and watch it. I've been seeing videos of some of these guys, and it looks entertaining. I'll tell you that. Looks like it's gonna be fun.
It's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah, they usually are. Even wrestling shows get interesting sometimes. So, kind of tell us a little bit about you and what made you want to start, this made fight league, and kind of how you went about doing it, and kind of just give everybody a little bit of background on you and the company itself.
So I'm originally from small town Ohio, and I was in a small town with big dreams, and I wanted to come out here to Las Vegas, be a big movie star and UFC fighter, all this stuff. And I didn't know anybody out here. I didn't have any friends or family or any jobs lined up or anything, but I literally just packed everything up in a car. It was me, my daughter. She was 3 years old at the time, and my wife, and we just drove across town with no money or anything, just heading to Las Vegas. And we fucking made it to Las Vegas. And once we got here, it was like, now what? Like, what do we do now?
Right.
But we were literally staying in the circus parking lot in our car for like a couple days, basically homeless, trying to figure stuff out. Like, what do we do now? Then we found out that there was a thing called weeklies here. You can get a weekly for like $300. You might be beside like a crackhead.
Yeah.
You might get shot up, next door to you or something. But, for $300 in Vegas a week, you couldn't beat that. So then we got in that. And then it was like a cycle and learning everything in Las Vegas. And the whole reason we came out here was to make it big. And I wanted to be a fighter, but I was 465 pounds.
Wow.
I wanted to be an MMA world champion and all that. And that caught on social media, I guess. And because of that, I got offered to go on the Dr. Phil show. And then I blew up because of Dr. Phil. I went on there, and he basically told me that I was too fat to be a fighter. I was delusional. I'll never, make it as an MMA fighter and stuff like that. And he might have been right at the time, but I had no choice but to leave the show and prove him wrong or be a loser to everybody who saw my shit on national television for the rest of my life. So I left the show and I became an MMA fighter, jiu-jitsu competitor, and I was successful, and I lost and won, but I didn't get paid that whole time, and I had like 40,000 followers, and I was on national television. I did from that one gig, I took that and did shows with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was on Taking Over America with Stone Cold when he did his show out here in Vegas. And
good friends.
Yeah, it was crazy. I got starstruck when I was next to Stone Cold. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I never get starstruck with anybody but wrestlers because I feel like they're bigger than actual stars.
They're made out to be larger than life. That's what it is. They're made out to be larger than life, and you get in front of them, and it's like,
yeah. And it's really them. It's like they've lived it and worked it for so long that they're not even working anymore. Like it's really just them.
Right.
But anyways, so that whole time I wasn't getting paid. I had to pay. I was flying all the way to Florida and stuff like that to compete on these celebrity boxing events and stuff like that. And everybody was thinking I was getting paid all kinds of money because I was on TV and stuff, and I wasn't. And it just hit me like, this is horrible. This is wrong. Like, amateur fighting is useless. So I basically had to stop fighting just because of that. And my wife was an amateur fighter too. So she was amateur, then turned professional boxer.
Let me ask you this. Who's your wife?
My wife is Ashley Mobwife Gambino. She's a retired professional boxer.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
now,
she's a tough girl.
You guys basically come from a essentially fighting background of a household.
Yeah. We started training together like in the living room and stuff, and I started coaching her, and I sent her out to places to fight, and it all pretty much started with like me training her and then slowly getting in shape from me training her. And then I fought when she got pregnant, because it was like, well, now she's pregnant, so because she had our second kid. So yeah, it's pretty wild.
So now, is she part of? She helps you out with the Made Fight League and everything like that.
Yes,
I'm assuming, right?
yes, she is the COO of the MFL. She does
That's
a
pretty
great
cool.
job. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Now,
You'll definitely meet her.
I'm looking forward to meeting all you guys when we eventually make it out there and we can do something together and maybe put, like you
Or
said,
I'm
eventually
out
put
there. I mean,
either way.
yeah, this is expanding, man, and I really want us to travel. And Vegas is a lot harder to do things than people
Right.
realize.
New York, it's not terrible from what I've heard, but it's definitely difficult.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
the athletic commission
New
involved
York.
in everything.
I heard
Listen.
New York is horrible too. We have some guys over there in New York, and they tell me that it's not easy over there.
No, even
Listen.
for wrestling shows, because you got to have you got to have the ambulance. You got to have like $1 million insurance policy. You got to have all kinds, unless you able to operate under somebody else's license.
Yeah, that's where we're lucky because the FSW has everything.
That does happen here as well. Like if there's a company that you're working with, or you can borrow, you can operate under somebody's license, then that usually kind of covers it because you're operating under theirs and they're giving you the permission. But
Yeah.
obviously, you have to pay to borrow the license. You got to pay for the ambulance. Usually, depending on who you work with, as far as like wrestling promoters go, they'll usually have the ring and everything for you.
Yeah.
You just have to basically get the talent and get them all there and take care of them.
It's like babysitting these guys is the hardest part.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm slowly moving away from that role.
Yeah. So now, have you fought on any of the MFL cards yet, or are you just strictly the promoter?
No, our first and only card was on June 27th.
Okay.
And literally, like, we're so new. I had the balls to like book the show before we even had an LLC. I got an LLC. We got our LLC like a month before the show. It was wild. Yeah, it was crazy. We was like meeting in like parking lots and like by picnic tables and shit. And then out of nowhere, it just blew up. And now we're like meeting at the top of buildings in Las Vegas and luxurious places and getting celebrity endorsements. And it's pretty crazy,
That's
man.
Cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's interesting, especially being, like you said, you are such a new company.
Yeah.
To have that already is crazy.
Yeah, I was really surprised at how fast everything was going, and I'm hoping that we keep that momentum for the second show. That's my biggest fear.
Usually, that's my thing. Like I understand what you're saying. Is like you already got the momentum. Hopefully, it keeps going, because to have a lot of that out of the gate already and only have one show under your belt is saying a lot.
Especially in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I feel like I want to come out, like I want to expand. I want to go to the East Coast and stuff like that. Cause like we're cool here. We stand out here. I can only imagine like if we go to a place like, Ohio or something, like we really stand out there.
Yeah. Cause like I know by me and where we are, 10 minutes up the road in the Mid-Hudson Civic Center is what it used to be called. They do wrestling shows. They do MMA fights. They've done boxing events. Like, it's crazy. It's not a huge venue, but the history behind it, as far as like wrestling goes and all that, it's so cool to be there when you go watch a show, because it's like you're a part of another journey in their history, from having ECW and WWE there back in the day, and the boxing, TNA and boxing and MMA, and then you're going to watch, a local independent show, which, in my opinion, a lot of the independent shows are better than some of the stuff you see on TV.
100%. 100%.
I won't lie. I enjoy my TV wrestling, but there's something about an independent show that's different.
They have some great wrestling out here in Las Vegas. It's just like they don't stay in Vegas. They travel
Yeah.
around and all that stuff. But shout out to Big Valley Pro Wrestling out here in Vegas. They put on some amazing shows. And what they do, it reminds you of ECW because they'll book like hockey rinks and they'll literally just put a ring in the middle of like a bunch of ice. And it's like they'll be slamming each other. It's the craziest thing ever. Big
That's
Valley Pro
insane.
Wrestling is wild, man.
That's crazy. I've never seen a wrestling ring on an ice rink before. I've seen it floating in a pool in
It's
Japan
crazy.
and WCW, and I've seen people's backyards for like death match tournaments and stuff like that. And then to hear an ice rink is crazy.
I did a tryout. Well, I guess it was kind of like a social media thing. It was back when I was still doing my influencer thing. And they probably went a little bit harder on me, but I mean, I was an MMA guy and I should have been, I should be tough from this, but I had a whole new respect for wrestling after I did a quote unquote tryout, just taking backdrops, running the ropes.
It's a completely different animal.
Dude, my head hurt for like weeks after that. Like these guys really are bumping, and like when they say bumps, they mean it. Like this ring isn't.
I can tell you from experience, when they say bumps, they bump and it hurts.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, I almost puked because I was just like, this is my head. I felt like I had a concussion or something just from taking like just. I think you froze on me.
Correct. Even if your chin is tucked, they weren't used to that, that jerk of your head after you're done.
Yeah, and I was trying to like land flat and all that, but it's tough, man. Wrestling is no joke. It's so much
even
harder.
For veterans, it's sometimes it's tough for them to land because you'll get dropped backwards in an awkward way, and you got to try to, land flat, and sometimes it doesn't work. And
I've done jujitsu, boxing, MMA. I've tried out for wrestling. I feel like wrestling is 10 times harder than like any of those. Maybe jujitsu is a little bit rougher because like you got to learn all that stuff. But when it comes to like just toughness, like wrestling is no fucking joke.
Right. And obviously for you being a fan, that had to be pretty cool to be able to get the opportunity to have that tryout.
Yeah. I was marking out the whole time.
But it's people, because you've done it, you understand kind of what goes into it. And some people don't get it. They think it's all rehearsed or choreographed, when in reality, I tell everybody, I've been on the commentary side, I've been on the backstage side putting stuff together. I've been in the ring wrestling. The only thing that a lot of people find out is who's going to win that night. And it's your job to go out there and get you there.
Yeah.
They leave that up to the talent. And that's what people.
See, I didn't even know that. I'm like, that's what I mean. Like when we put together matches, I'm gonna need guys like you because I really don't know how like that works. I'm used to watching it. I'm like, this looks so much easier than
Thankfully, you when we do get to work, you have him, you have me. And then if you're looking for more wrestlers, I might have a team that we worked with in North Carolina.
Okay.
They're in DC, but like you're looking for the lightning in a bottle, and we went and captured that in North Carolina.
Nice.
It was the first time we ever worked with them. It was the first time we ever worked with them.
You did media for them?
No, I wrestled for the company in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I wrestled for them. Because we're a tag team. So he wrestled with me. He was my partner. I did the creative for the show. I helped out with creative. That's what I mean. Like I have yellow legal pads just filled with storylines and match cards and themes for the shows, and like the stuff that we put together, me and the other guy in creative. It's funny because people listen to me when I'm talking wrestling and when I'm doing creative and stuff like that, and everybody said I turned into like an evil genius like Paul Heyman, because I will sit there and be like, no, listen, do this. If we do this, this will work better. And then the kid I was working with was like, you know what? I like that idea. When it was nice because there was no fighting between the two of us. You know, like you get a lot of guys, they bump heads. Me and him were just kind of like, yo, let's
100%.
like we were just sitting there throwing ideas at the wall. You know, just like, does this stick? And he was like, it will, but if we put this person here, it'll stick better. Okay, cool. You know, done deal. You know, that's kind of how it works. And I don't know if it works the same way with you guys when you're putting like the boxing fights together and stuff like that, because you know, you got to put, I would assume you got to put styles together, right? As far as like boxing goes.
Yeah, this event.
Yeah,
for this one, I chose the matchups just because this event went a lot differently, and I'm just trying to get the best out of this one. But essentially, we're gonna have it to where the fans choose the matchups, and that's part of like the VIP experiences.
Right.
They get to choose to vote on the matchups and all that stuff.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. You know, I like the fact that the fans have a say, because a lot of companies won't do that. You know, and the fact that you're giving them that opportunity shows that, you know, you want them to be just as much a part of the show as the guys on the card, the people in the back, the social media people, the announcers, the ring guys. You want everybody to be a part of that collectively, which is awesome.
For example, last night, I'm still recovering from last night. We had a meet and greet at this club, and all the VIPs got in for free. Anybody who's a VIP of the MFL gets in for free, hangs out with us and all that stuff. But eventually, I want it better than that. I want it to where like we can literally like, oh, you're a VIP, you're an MFL VIP. Okay, we're having a party at this time, this place. How about we just fly you out here? You know what I mean? Like, I want us to be set up like that, building to where like we're a secret society and luxury at the same time, and keeping everything in the circle. And once everything's in the circle, with all this AI taking over all this stuff, and everybody's trying to be their own boss, and as long as we just stay working together and stay in the circle and really build on this, I feel like we can make this a super lucrative business.
No, absolutely. And especially if you go into the wrestling aspect as well, like you said, and kind of expand not only from the boxing aspect, but kind of venturing into that, you know, pro wrestling area.
Yes.
You definitely can get onto something, because, you know, independent wrestling, and people may not realize this who don't follow it. I do, because honestly, like I said, I love independent pro wrestling. I do. I enjoy, like, I will sit there on a weekend, like, okay, like when the Collective came to Vegas, when you had GCW, Japan, you had everybody in Vegas. I sat on my porch for like 9 hours and just watched wrestling from start to finish all morning and all night. And that's just because I love watching what goes on and keeping up with everything, not only for the show, but for myself, you know, to be able to get ideas of maybe something I can take from this show and kind of put it together.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, okay, if I work for this company, hey, listen, what if we took this show and take this match and this match from the show and kind of combine it into one match, you know, and see where this goes, or maybe use this match and this match for different ones. You know, that's how my brain sort of operates.
Like you're entertaining and learning at the same time, right?
Yeah. No,
that's
absolutely.
Like I steady got a YouTube playing on my TV, but it's never like stuff to keep me entertained. It's always like I'm learning from this, you know.
100%.
Like I'll literally watch I'll watch like old school 90s Howard Stern stuff just to learn how to put together a show. Mm-hmm. And I'll take that and develop it into the MFL in some kind of way. Right now I got what is it? Halloween Heat Wave, or no, Halloween Heat Wave. WCW Halloween Havoc 1989. That's crazy. I'm playing right now, Sting versus Flair.
Which if you didn't see, I don't know if you've seen it. Speaking of Sting, his son actually just debuted last night.
Really?
Yeah,
No, I did not see that. What did he debut as? Like, what's his character?
Stephen Borden.
Just him?
He goes by his real name.
Wow. No gimmick or anything?
He came out, dude, he looks just like Surfer Sting. Like he
Really?
came out plain black trunks. As I call it, like the Surfer Sting, like, you know, crew cut all the way. He's got jet black hair.
That's crazy.
And they said he did great. I
gotta check that out.
Dude, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it on YouTube because I want to see it. I've just seen.
I gotta check that out for sure.
It was him and JD Drake versus Darby Allin and Killer Cross, who came out of FSW.
Oh, okay.
It was Darby's friend has like a standalone exhibit in New York in the city somewhere. Wow. It's an art exhibit with a pro wrestling ring set up in the middle for matches.
That's crazy.
Because, like they said, it's considered an art form. So they brought them out, and that's where he debuted.
That's actually genius. That's great.
You know what? People like, I'm like, that's actually smart.
One thing that they did out here, so I used to, speaking of pro wrestling, they're kind of pro wrestling. I used to work for the Lingerie Fighting Championships, which is a wrestling league out here. Actually, one of the girls working for us now.
Okay.
But one time they set up a ring literally in the middle of like Fremont Street. Like I was like, how is this going to work out? And then it was like, they didn't even need to promote anything because it's right there. So all the fans just was like, what is this cool shit? And they came and it was like one of the best shows they ever did.
You know what? Setting up a lot of times in places like that or down in like, who was it? Somebody did it in the city or in the Bronx somewhere and just set up a ring right in the middle of the street.
It's crazy.
Like they got the permission, I guess, from the city or whatever. They set it up right in the middle of the street and they go. Like you get a lot of the street fairs up here will have rings they will have companies that work with them that they'll bring in to do wrestling, and they'll set up a ring right in the middle of the street fair, and it's just everybody's just walking around. Oh, you know, like they'll sell like the ringside tickets to get really close.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe a VIP autograph session, but most of the time the guys are out there signing autographs, you know, and then everybody's just like you said, just flocking to it, and all of a sudden you went from maybe having nobody with no promote. I mean, they get promoted on the radio, you know, this company's going to be at this fair set up for how many days, you know, whatever. But most of the time it's just people there see it and go, oh, wow, and just flock right to it.
I'd like to do what Chris Jericho's doing, man. That'd be really fun. God or something.
I've been wanting to get on that cruise so bad.
That's so
just as a fan, I wanted to go on the cruise.
I mean, could you imagine being like working as a pro wrestler on a boat, like on a cruise? That is the coolest. That's got to be the coolest shit ever.
You know what? A lot of guys that did it said it was awesome. They thought at first it was going to be weird because, you know, the boat rocks, but they're like, dude, it was fucking great.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. That's probably crazy.
They were like, it was great. Like, I've seen, you know, clips from that cruise, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to wrestle on that cruise or just go as a fan. Like, I'm torn because I'm like, I would love to work the cruise because it would be, like you said, it'd be an awesome experience. But at the same time, I'm like, as a fan, I want to go and I want to hang out and I want to be able to sit down with, you know, like guys like Jericho, DDP, Mick Foley, Conan, and just hang out.
Like, you know, it's just packed with nothing but wrestling fans, and they're all drunk and stuck on a boat. That's gotta be the fun
fans and music fans and everything else because he plays with Fozzy on there.
They'd be throwing each other through tables and shit. Oh my God.
I would have thought there would have been a lot of that. From the videos I've seen, there wasn't a lot of that, which was crazy because I'm like you said, you'd think, you know, with all the wrestling fans and the music fans that there would be, you know, stuff like that. But he said everybody's just there to have a good time. Everybody's there to watch wrestling.
I forgot about Fozzy. When I was a kid, I legit thought Fozzy was a different person. Legit. Just like for years, I thought Kane like died and then got replaced by another person, because I was like, there's no way that that's the same guy. And like, you know, as a kid, you're just an idiot. But
I used to think Kane and Undertaker were brothers for a long time.
they're not. No.
Yeah. Well, did you ever
Or
seen
Andre the Giant's the dad of the Big Show?
you see, now that could be plausible though.
Yeah, I know, right?
It could be.
That's
It could
believable.
That's believable. But like I seen their unwanted treasure show when they were looking their unfound treasures when they went to go see Kane in Knox County. And Undertaker walked in and he knocked on the door and she goes, "Oh yes, how can I help you?" He goes, "The mayor." And she goes, "Can I ask who's looking for him?" She's like, "Oh, he goes, I'm his brother. Don't worry, I'll just walk in." And he knocks on the door and he walks in. He goes, "Mr. Mayor." He goes, "Hey, how are you?"
That's
I'm like, nothing like keeping it alive through all these years of who's asking for him. Oh, tell him it's his brother. Don't worry about it. He'll know what it is.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I
they
mean?
don't
Like,
even ask you questions.
it's so cool because, and then you get like his podcast before WWE got their hands on it. And I will say this because it's not the same.
You talking about the Undertaker?
Yeah. If you have time and you like old school stories,
yeah.
So you got to watch his original, not the one now. I haven't watched any of the ones now since WWE got it, but his original ones, dude. He had Booker T, he had Devon, he had Kane, he had the Godfather, he had the Godwins. You know, like he had.
I worked with the Godfather before.
Oh,
He's
did
out
you?
in Vegas, yeah.
Yes, I did. He worked for was it Cheetahs or something like that?
I'm not sure, but we did
one of the strip clubs. He was like a manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheetahs is I think it's something else out here, Sapphire now or something.
Might be. So you said you worked with the Godfather. What was that like working with him?
So he was a judge for one of my fights. So I did a fight that was, well, you can call it a fight.
Right.
You're in a bouncy ring with giant gloves, and it's like 24-ounce gloves or something like that. Ridiculous looking gloves. And it's 1.5 minute rounds, 3 rounds, and every last half minute they have a leaf blower with Mike Tyson's brand weed inside the leaf blower, blowing it into you on the fighters as you're trying to fight. And it looks like Tasmanian devil, like nobody can see anything. You can't breathe, you're choking. And it was the dumbest, craziest shit I've ever done.
By the time you're done, you're high as a kite.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wild.
That's funny.
Wild. Like I feel like everybody kind of lost that fight. Like
everybody, well, depending on who they were, they might have liked to lose that fight.
Yeah.
They might have liked to lose that fight because in the end they won because they got high for free.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I literally like collapsed because of the smoke, and then the guy just like put the leaf blower right on me as I'm collapsing.
Oh no, I'd have been so mad.
Yeah, they were just trying to go viral, and it worked for sure.
That's cool.
No,
that's kind of nice, and especially he is out there. So like, if you do a wrestling event out there in the future, he's there. I mean,
we've been commenting and stuff and trying to get him to come to Halloween Heat Wave, and like we've been like dropping hints like, hey, we have this event coming out because we got mutual followers and all that stuff. So we've been subtly dropping hints. It's just like a lot of these guys want and deserve an appearance fee,
right?
And like we have some celebrities coming out for this next event, but we can't announce them because if we announce them, then we have to pay an appearance fee.
Right.
So we have to be like, oh, we got a secret special guest.
Yeah.
As soon as we put them on a flyer, now we have to pay their managers all kinds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
And stuff like that. It's
I mean, you might, because you are in the FSW, so you might maybe be able to ask them to see if there's any way you can get some of their people there, as far as like, because you got, like I said, Killer Cross came out of that school, and I think he still lives in Vegas.
Yeah, Willie Mack.
Mack, yep. If you watch Juggalo Championship Wrestling, he's called the Chocolate Juggalo.
Willie Mack was just at the event I was at the other night. Booty Slap #2.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I saw you posted up. I said, I'm not gonna lie, that's a competition I want to go to.
Yeah, he was there.
That's cool.
He was one of the guys there.
No, I've heard he's really cool to meet.
I haven't interacted with him. I didn't even know that was him, honestly. But
Chocolate, he goes by when he works for Juggalo Championship Wrestling, he goes by the Chocolate Juggalo.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's awesome. But he's another one, man, that a lot, like I said, you know, Vegas is like you said, it's hard to work with because of the commission.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a wrestling show, there's a lot of talent that's out there.
RVD's out here. He's a fan of the MFL, believe it or not, because of Katie Forbes. I've worked with Katie Forbes personally a bunch of times. We worked together on the LFC, and then we worked together for the Mike Tyson hot boxing event.
Okay.
So I know Katie Forbes really, really well. I think she just had a baby, so shout out to her. Or she's about to have a baby.
Yeah, I think it's her or the other girl. I think one of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Whichever one of RVD's girl, you know, they kind of have like a trio.
But shout out to RVD.
Yeah, they got a trio relationship going on right there. You know, mad respect, and they're not messing
mad at them
because wherever they go together.
Mm-hmm.
It's
no, listen, and having him a fan of your stuff is a big thing.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, that's another one I marked out for. For
me as a fan, that would be huge. I mean, I've met RVD a few times.
Yeah, he's cool.
I've always been an RVD fan, and that'll never change.
He's another one who's like, man, he's going through pain like daily. Like I can't believe that guy even leaves the house. A lot of these guys, like they're just falling apart. Like literally, the dude can't even shake somebody's hand. It gets that bad.
And it's funny because like you see a lot of these guys like him, like Dreamer, like Sandman that were in that ECW realm is like you see them now and it's like, man, how do these guys still do it?
Yeah.
And like, they look RVD. I see him now and he still comes out and he still looks good.
He looks amazing, right?
And he can still go and I'm like,
it's like
then you hear stories like you're saying, you know, it's hard, but then it's like he comes out on TV and it's like, wait a second, I just saw that guy, you know, walking through the airport 2 weeks ago, limping around, and now he's on TV pulling out, you know, half-ring 5-star frog splashes.
Isn't it inspiring, like how these guys can just turn it on? It shows you, like, man, sometimes I guess you can, you can do it. You know
what? I will tell you from my own experiences being on that side of the business, when that music hits and you walk through that curtain,
your
adrenaline goes sky high. You don't feel nothing.
That's true.
Like
it's the same with
fighting.
When
I did the first, that I've heard that so many times between boxers and MMA fighters and jiu-jitsu guys that they're like, yo, when you go out there, you don't even realize it. And then once that, and you guys probably the same thing. Once that adrenaline dumps, everything hurts.
Yeah. And then just dying for air.
Yeah, like we did. So it's kind of funny you brought that part up, the dying for air, because when we worked in North Carolina, you know, we were supposed to face another team. You know, card in the wrestling business is always subject to change. Yeah. I'm sure it's the same with you guys as well. If something happens, you got to change the card around. You know, I'm not sure about, like I said, that kind of aspect of like the boxing and MMA world. I've seen the MMA world, how it kind of like if somebody has to pull out of a fight, they got to put somebody in.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for you guys as well.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So we got thrown into a match with the team that we worked with down there that we pulled off magic with. And the other guys in the match were, I give everybody in that match credit because we weren't supposed to be in that match. And the way I set it up, because we found out the guys weren't coming, I told the promoter, I said, don't go announce that we're in this match. Do not announce it. Do not announce it until that match is ready to start. Let them announce the two teams and then just have the announcer go, I just got word that there's a third team involved in this match. And that's kind of how I did it, because I didn't want the crowd to get, oh, you know, okay, these guys are going to be here. These guys are probably, I didn't want that. I like the surprises.
Yes.
As a wrestling fan, and everybody watching who's a wrestling fan knows, that surprise is usually the best part of the night. Or at least it's awesome when you get a third team thrown into a match that you didn't know was supposed to wrestle that match.
Yes. And a lot of this is ruined because of the internet. And everybody wants to be fast and first. And I remember, dude, do you remember, this might throw you back right here. I think it's called wwfraha.com. I think it was called. It was like a spoiler website.
Yeah.
But, like, you literally would look at it and it would be like rumors, like The Rock is returning next week. And like you and your friends would be like, oh man.
Yeah,
And
I
remember that. Like, that was crazy. But now it's like you already know everything before it happens.
Yeah, because you have Dave Meltzer, you have Fightful.com, you have, you know, all these different websites that'll put out spoilers, and I as a fan try not to pay attention to those because I don't want to know.
And these characters are losing their power, their star power, because of that. Like, I like the fact that The Undertaker just started doing podcasts and stuff, because for like 20 years he was the fucking dead man. You know what I mean? Like,
he said, he goes, this is not something I ever thought I would do.
Yeah.
Like in his original 6 Feet Under, he said,
that character.
He's like, he goes, they wanted me to do it. I said no for so many years. He goes, I figure we'll give it a try, you know, and if I don't want to do it, I'm out. And then you get to hear all these stories of like road stories that you normally wouldn't hear anywhere else. Stories that went on behind the scenes with him and this one and that one, or, you know, the infamous WrestleMania with Shawn and Steve Austin when they didn't know if Shawn was going to do business that night.
Yeah, Shawn was apparently an asshole back in the day.
Taker goes to tape his fists because obviously, if anything's going to happen, who are you going to send out there? You're going to send a legitimate badass out to that ring to make sure business is properly done.
Yeah, The Undertaker's a boss, man. He don't fuck around.
No,
I need to start watching his podcast. But I'm really big into Maven lately. Maven Huffman.
Maven, I was a fan of. If people can hate me, I was a fan of Maven since Tough Enough.
Yeah, me too. Just because
I just liked him.
One of us.
Yeah, him and Josh Matthews.
Yeah,
they were guys like us who grew up as
the reporter. Did he turn into a reporter? Okay, yeah.
He works backstage for AEW now, actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he worked backstage for them, but I was a fan of those guys because they, like you said, they're guys like us.
Yeah, I had the biggest crush on Nydia.
Understandable. I could see that. I was a Trish Stratus fan myself.
Oh, me too. I think
everybody
was.
and a Stacy Keibler fan.
Yeah, I remember the ZZ Top Legs days.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy Keibler, man. When WCW wasn't that's one of the few pay-per-views I went to. I was at the Invasion pay-per-view when it was in Cleveland, Ohio.
So what was it like being there? Now that you brought that up, because I've never had a chance to ask somebody who's been there. What was it like being in that building
for the Invasion?
Yeah,
it was crazy, and like I think like 9 years old. And there was literally like fights in the crowd, and we were high up.
That's something I always wondered, if there was fights between WCW and WWF fans.
It really was. And like, I was a kid, so I was like, why are people taking it this seriously? And like, my mom and they were trying to get me out of the area because like people were actually fighting in the crowd when Stone Cold turned heel. Because at the end of it, at the end of the pay-per-view, Stone Cold turned heel and went, McMahon, he sold his soul to the devil and all that.
Right.
And everybody just went fucking nuts, man.
That's crazy. Yeah. I've always wondered what it was like in that building because, you know, they're both fan bases were such diehard fan bases.
Yeah. And they were really working it too. Like as soon as you got there, they had like, you can buy all the WCW merch here. You can buy the WWE merch here, WWF at the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was a war.
Listen, I've seen stuff like that. I haven't seen stuff in person like that, but I've seen, you know, I've been in companies where they've had other companies come in and invade. And it's kind of cool, especially when you see like right now, for instance, Invasion going on is Juggalo Championship Wrestling and GCW Game Changer. because they were working together, but at the same time they were feuding too. You know, like they did Gathering of the Juggalos, and it was the Gathering of the Juggalos night 1 and 2, and it was Juggalo Championship Wrestling versus GCW.
I keep forgetting that ICP was like they legit was like wrestlers back in.
Yeah, and well, they were until Mike Awesome decided to Razor's Edge Shaggy 2 Dope, and he hit the top of the bus and just went boop, all the way to the floor and broke his neck. Yeah, he broke his neck.
Wow.
The only one that was left after that, well, I think he wrestled in TNA for a little while during the Asylum days, but usually it was just Violent J that was doing it. Like now, Violent J is involved in almost everything. Shaggy's more involved once in a while in commentary and stuff like that. You don't see him too much in the ring.
Yeah, I like them. I know Jim Cornette's not the biggest fan, but I think
he's another dream guest of mine. Cornette,
I love him. I could listen to him for.
So you've listened to his? Have you listened to his podcast?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm glad because everybody's like he's got his own shows. I'm like shows. Yeah, I'm like they're fucking awesome.
I listen. They have a compilation on YouTube that's called Jim Cornette Buries the Universe.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's great.
I've listened to that like 5 times.
It's great. I mean,
it's like 7 hours long.
I listen. A lot of the wrestling ones I listen to are him, Jericho, Tony Schiavone. I'll listen to Bischoff once in a while.
Oh, that's probably a good one, Bischoff. I got to check him out.
It's interesting. I'll to say the least, it's interesting. I listen to Jeff Jarrett a lot too.
Bischoff would be an interesting side of things, coming from a CEO of a.
Yeah, he does. I was stuck on his for a while. I haven't listened to it in a while because I got so stuck on when Jeff Jarrett came out with his My World.
Yeah,
with Jeff Jarrett, it's him and Conrad. So I kind of got stuck on that, and I've kind of just been. I've binged that. I've binged What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. There's so many out there, man. I mean, you have mine. Like everybody goes, yeah, but you don't listen to yours. I said, I do. I listen to it back. I said, but
Stevie Richards is another good one.
I've listened to some of his YouTube videos. I've
been watching him a lot lately, actually.
He's an interesting case because a couple of years ago he wasn't even supposed to be walking again.
Really?
A year or two ago, whatever it was, he had all kinds of problems. He couldn't walk. He couldn't stand. Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. And then you got Raven, I think, has his own.
Wow, that'd be interesting hearing Raven.
Well, he's got November 18th. I think it's going to come out on Prime and everywhere else. Raven's got his own documentary.
Oh, I
think it's called The Raven or The Raven Effect, something like that.
That's cool. I'm checking that out for sure. I'm a big Raven fan.
I knew it came out because I heard about it and they were doing screening parties for it. And then all of a sudden it popped up on my newsfeed and I'm like, oh, I have to go.
I'm a Raven fan from the WCW versus NWO Nitro N64 game days. I always picked Raven.
And he was so underrated too, man. He was good in ECW. He was all right in WCW, but they handcuffed him with that Ravens flock gimmick, and they didn't really do him right. And then he went to TNA after WWE.
I forget what promotion it was.
Multiple time NWA champ.
Yeah.
And his TNA storylines were, oh my God, they were awesome.
See, I didn't see anything in TNA. Everything I've seen was in WCW.
If you have the time and you do subscribe to the TNA app, and you can go back and watch the Asylum days, which was like 01, 02. Like Jeff Hardy shows up, Sting.
Is that the 6-sided ring?
This was before the 6-sided ring.
Wow.
When they started with the NWA, they ran a 4-sided ring.
Is this the same promotion that had the stuff that they would like climb ladders and stuff above the ring? I think it's called the TNA like Ultimate Division or X
Ultimate
Division.
X.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, Samoa
Yes.
Joe.
That was
Chris
like whatever
Daniels.
happened to that? That was cool. The video game was cool.
Yeah, so it's funny because I always wonder what happened to the 6-sided ring. You've bumped in a 4-sided ring, and it moves, but it's stiff. A 6-sided ring had no give, none. They said that's why they got rid of it. Jeff Jarrett said that's why they got rid of it because when you would bump, guys were getting hurt because there was no give.
And I guess it would be like you have to change the entire like thing of wrestling. Like you've been learning how to run ropes with 4-sided rings.
Yeah, they said it almost kind of was the same, but the problem was when you would bump, it was like there was no bounce. It was just when you hit, you hit.
Yeah, those ropes are relentless.
No, the ropes, they're not fun. Like when I did my first show, I've had 2 matches since I've debuted. My first show was in New Jersey, ironically in Bayville, which is like right by the shore. So, I tell everybody that's why the shore, I mean, I've been going to the shore since I was a kid, the seaside, but that's why it holds such a special place for me. I said, because, when I debuted, I was given that opportunity to wrestle in Bayville, which was 10 minutes from Seaside. So I was like, that area holds a special place. And then, when I got booked to go to North Carolina, knowing wrestling, that's Crockett territory.
Yeah.
So to go down there, I was like, oh, if we're going to do this, we're doing this right. When I came with creative to the guy, I'm like, dude, this is Crockett territory. Like we have to we want to attract those old fans back, essentially.
Right. That's cool, man. I feel like this is all coming back when it comes to wrestling. Like the more AI is flooding everything and the more everybody's just like, everybody's caring about views and shit. Like it bothers me so much. It's so annoying.
What the views are good for you, but and I'm not going to knock views because everybody needs views. I need views on the podcast. Like I won't knock the views. You need them on the MFL. But the thing is if you have compelling storylines in your company, if it's a wrestling company, whatever you're doing, if there's a storyline compelling enough, you're going to draw those views in. It may take some time because maybe you see my show and then go, whoa, that storyline that he worked with was great. And then you tell this person, they tell that person, this person, that person. And then eventually everybody flocks to that channel. Right. And then, they get to see everything and kind of pay attention. And then that's when your views go up.
Yeah. Yeah. And these viral views aren't going to last for a lot of people. Like this whole slap fighting thing. I'm sitting here watching these slap fighters get literally 17 million views. Yeah. And then 5 people will follow them on Instagram because of that.
I know a few guys that I worked shows with that got recruited to slap fighting.
Yeah.
One of them debuted last night. I worked a show with him up by me, like 20 minutes from my house. Lou Bruno.
Oh, okay.
He was a pro wrestler that they brought in a lot of pro wrestlers to do slap fighting. And he was one of them. And I happened to work a show with him in a mall. Same thing, like you said, of setting it up in the middle. Like this guy that runs up here, he runs he runs a gym at a school, and then he does like one of the big malls 20 minutes from my house, and then another one 45 minutes from my house. And he just sets up the ring. Dude, I was watching it because I was commentating one show, and there was people just lined up on the second floor of the one mall just watching. And then you had people just walking around, standing there watching. And then when they ran the Palisades Mall, which is a 4-level mall, there was people stacked around on all 4 levels watching. And then you had down below, they sold tickets to it, like I said, for ringside.
Yeah.
For the first 5 or 6 rows, and then everybody just kind of stacked all around.
That's basically how the LFC did it on Fremont too. It's a really good concept. I think we should.
It is, and especially
if it's like that ourselves, especially when we come out there.
Listen, it's doable. We're supposed to hopefully be coming to Colorado actually, to work with a wrestling company out there. we actually the guy got in contact with us the other day. He actually worked with MB Radio to stream his show. So
Last time I was in Colorado was when weed just became legal. Yeah, it did not go well. It was definitely Mile High City.
That's what I've heard. I haven't been out there yet, but this guy wants to maybe work with us and bring us out. So
are you going there early to like acclimate?
It's gonna depend on when the show is. If it's on a weekend, I'd probably fly out like probably a Thursday or a Friday after work.
Because that's what messed me up, was like I wasn't used to being in the altitude, and then I got high in the altitude, and then I just got like extremely sick. So
yeah, no, if I could get out there early, I would love it, but it would have to depend on when the show is. And I mean, if I have days off, before that and after that, then yeah, I would probably fly in a day or two before the show and get acclimated.
Yeah.
But
it makes me wonder like how these fighters do it too, because these fighters, the promotion will be like, yeah, you're showing up, the day before.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them probably use they were called alpha masks.
Yeah.
Like they help your breathing.
Oh, like those CO2.
Yeah, like the ones Marshawn Lynch used to have, where you put them around here and you run with them to kind of acclimate you to whether it's like
pain.
Yeah, to different terrains.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight in altitude after that experience.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to eventually working with you guys. I know my dad is. Everybody's been asking us because we've mentioned to them that there's a potential for us to work with you guys, and they're like, "What is this place? What is it called? Where is it?" I'm like, I said if I can get him on before, the show, I was like, I'll get him on. Come on, ask questions, just learn. I said, because I'm learning with you guys.
I feel like we're still learning as well. Honestly, we're still kind of developing and like learning on what exactly we are, because like I said, the first show was supposed to be a kickboxing event, and then it turned into like pro wrestling kickboxing event, and this next one's going to be for sure more pro wrestling style.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely an evolution, and I appreciate you being here along for the ride, man.
Absolutely. We're like I said, we're both looking forward to it. My dad sent me the post, and he was like, reach out. I was like, okay. And I reached out and I was like, let's see where we go. And, then it was, well, let's join the Discord. And, I was like, all right, I'll join because, he uses Discord for cigar stuff, but he's not very technically savvy.
Yeah.
So I was like, he goes, well, put me in. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you really want, because he doesn't even really use it for the cigar stuff that much.
Right.
He has it because some of the groups we're a part of have Discord that he's in. But sometimes he doesn't even know how to use it. And that's not a knock on him. He's not a technically savvy person.
Yeah, I'm still learning how to use Discord too. And eventually we're going to have like a class for all my crew members and everybody.
Right.
You need to.
You definitely, creating roles for everybody is definitely where you want to eventually start, because I know like I have my own for cigars, and it's a pain. Because you got to give, if you, let's just say it's me and him, I'm the admin, he's the moderator, or another admin that can move people and add people. It gets confusing, especially if you're trying to do that and promote the shows and do this.
Yeah. Sometimes I got mods and stuff. So
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say is you're better off having somebody almost like a mod or somebody running it for you, so that you don't have to worry
100%.
about that aspect.
Yeah, they totally like revamped the whole Discord one day, and I'm very thankful for the mods that we do have, because they work hard.
Yeah, no, I can tell everybody from experience. I've seen it. They work really hard, especially being able to keep up with, if somebody's having a conversation over here, you got to move it to this place. It's which I did, and then they were like, hey, listen, I know you're still trying to figure it out. Move it over. Okay, I'll move it over here. No problem, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm still learning. Like even they had to put me in my place sometimes because I'll post like different channels. I'm like, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
post that. But I love
you
it,
know,
man. It's a community. I feel like Discord is definitely the future.
it is for sure, and especially because you can get like you can do the live chats in there with
Yeah,
all of your fighters and maybe crew members. Like you have different like voice channels for your fighters, and then okay, hey, listen, there's a fighters meeting in Discord at 9 o'clock. Go to the fighters meeting room, and you click
yeah.
that, and then
That's
they all come
exactly what we
in.
use it for. Yeah,
And then
or
you
like
do the same thing with the crew or like creative if when you eventually move to that wrestling aspect of like you may say to me, hey Joe, listen, you're gonna run the creative. You set up the meetings. Obviously, you're gonna be a part of it, but you might designate one person. Hey, listen, you're head of creative, whatever you want to call it, whatever you give it. You're
exactly.
running the meetings. You set it up. I'll be there. And this way, this person's in charge of fighters. This person's in charge of the wrestling and creative aspect. This person's in charge of this. So that way, you're in the meetings, but you're also not trying to set everything up yourself.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. There's definitely needs to be branches.
Of course, you know what? Any company like yours who's running and doing so many things, especially you moving all around and doing the different events and meeting at this place and that place, you don't have time to be there all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like you have to set it up to
You can only
where
do so much.
yeah, exactly. No, it's true. It's 100% true. Like especially even with this podcast, like we're booking guests. I had to write out a calendar on a piece of paper of
Yeah,
like all the Sundays I have open. So that way somebody goes, oh, what do you have open? I got November such and such. Okay, let me take that. Okay, I go over and I write your name. So that way, if I'm not home and somebody reaches out to my dad, he can walk over to the piece of paper and go, okay, November, okay, I got this open, this open, this open, and then go from there.
yeah, yeah, and like a lot of that's everybody wants to do like calendar. What's it called? I forget. It's like an AI calendar thing nowadays. I get that
Yeah.
sent every day, man. It's every day. My emails literally turn into like Chat GPT, like talking to each other. It's wild.
Yeah, it gets crazy. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. Especially produce like on top of we booking people, I'm producing the show, I'm uploading the Spotify. I'm doing the where we both run the Instagram, but I do a lot of the videos. Like if you go back and look, a lot of those videos that have all the different transitions with 900 different pictures, where people they were like, oh, I want you to use all these. Okay, I'll use them, and then I would go and create the video, and people like why it takes. I said it's easy, but it's time consuming.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of it's just like tedious.
Mm-hmm.
But if you skip that, then you lack your
right
excellence.
Your excellence and your creativity. Like, sometimes it's hard. Like when you sent over the logo, I was like, you see, like a lot of people don't send logos, so it's a lot harder because I got to use all the pictures. You sent the logo, that's why I'm like, it's easier to just, I like using the logo because it identifies your brand, it identifies you, and it gravitates people towards where they want to be,
right.
And that's why I like the logos. But like a lot of cigar vendors send us pictures of their cigars and the factories and stuff, so we try to use those. Each person is different. Wrestlers, they send me 10, 15 pictures. No. Whoa, no. No, they send me like 8 or 9 pictures and I'll use them. And then like during the show, they'll be like, oh, we're going to commercial. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to email you such and such picture. Let's talk about this. Okay. Let's talk about this when we come back. Sure.
Yeah. I like it when they do that and they don't leave it up to you to just like copy and paste something from a website. Like, it's so annoying. Or you have to like screenshot some stuff and then edit it yourself. Yeah.
No, last week we had a wrestler on who the Metal Maniac, he was very good friends with Jimmy Snuka for years. I mean, like,
wow.
if you booked Jimmy Snuka to wrestle, you booked him. He had pictures and like personal Polaroids of his that we used on the show. He had a picture with him and Taz when Taz was the Tasmaniac. Pictures of him and
that's cool.
Hercules.
I'm a
You know,
Taz
pictures.
fan.
Oh, I love Taz.
I know Taz is a fan of himself, but
Taz is always a fan of himself, and I'm okay with that. He's another person eventually I would love to just sit down with.
I'm Italian, so I thought he was like the toughest shit in the world back in the day. He was like the thug in WWE.
Yeah,
choking everybody out.
I tell everybody now, like his son wrestles in AEW.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his son Hook wrestles in AEW.
So behind, man. It's crazy.
One day, one of the shows, they were doing something, and they went in front of Taz and beat up his son or pushed Taz, and he stood up from the announce table, and I jumped up. I'm like, just drop him on his damn head. I don't care. Just do something. I'm like, just do something.
Transmission.
Yeah, I didn't care what it was. I'm like, just do something.
One of my favorite angles, pun intended, is his angle with Kurt Angle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they had one of the best feuds because they're both so technically sound when it comes to wrestling. Just like, you know, those who shall not be named is also a technically sound wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Hillman, Kurt
and
Angle.
It's a shame that he shouldn't be named because he was so
fucking good. He's
so
such a
good.
wrestler. But Hillman, Kurt Angle, also great. You know,
oh
it's
my
like
God.
real. It's like this ain't even pro wrestling anymore. This is actually like Olympic fucking. Like
literally.
I felt like a lot of that was actually competitive.
It was, and he said that they said that he could go for like hours. They said when you worked with him, you worked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When you got in that ring with him, you got in that ring.
I'm a big Angle fan, Brock Lesnar fan, and Brock Lesnar is actually what made me a fan of MMA, because I was a wrestling fan first, and then my brother hit me up one day. He was like, "Hey, did you know Brock Lesnar is going to get into a real fight?" I was like, for real, he's going to get his ass whooped. And then it was actually the fight with him and Heath Herring was the first I've ever watched. And the moment he punched him in the face and Heath Herring did a fucking backflip,
and Brock was on top of him in less than half a second.
Looked like a bull. He just rushed him like a bull. I was hooked. I was like,
he got exposed here and there with like Frank Mir and a couple other guys, but they'll all tell you that he might have gotten exposed, but you were in for a fight because he wasn't going down.
I'm a huge Brock Lesnar fan.
I'm a big Brock Lesnar guy. I always was.
I liked when he fought at UFC 200 against Mark Hunt. And
yes,
like, it was a quote unquote boring fight, but like he was so smart about it, and like for not fighting for that long and then just coming back out of nowhere and totally dominating a real fighter like that. Like,
and then Mark Hunt complained that he was on steroids and all kinds of stuff. He got the win reversed.
Steroids, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like everybody's on steroids.
Listen, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're winding down here. Why don't you tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can buy tickets to the event? And you know, this way they can, if they're in that area and they want to come see it, tell them where they can follow you, buy tickets, all that stuff.
Absolutely. So we're on Made Fight League on Instagram is our biggest platform right now. And we had a Discord community. These guys are part of it, helping us out with everything there and engaging in the Discord. So if you join the Discord, you get to talk to them too. And we're trying to develop a fan base here. And if you join the Discord, we're also playing the pay-per-view there. So if you're not in Vegas, come to the Discord and watch some fights on Halloween.
I'm actually intrigued to do that. That's actually intriguing.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be playing it all live, and you're already a VIP, so yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting night. The commission's gonna be there, so again,
but at least you know now ahead of time.
Yeah, and it's gonna be drama. I have a lot of interesting things planned for the commission, and now that I know what I can do, we have control of the lights, the sound, and everything. And that's the only hints I'm giving. But we're definitely going to the commission.
And then, like you said, some special guests as well.
Yes, definitely some super special guests.
So there you have it, guys. It's been another fun episode. Also, remember October 25th, Battleground Pro Wrestling in Colorado. Get your tickets. Go support MBR. Support them. Eventually, you might see me in Colorado. You never know. Never know. You might see me wrestle. You might see me commentate. I might just get thrown in there to just take people out. You don't know yet. So on that note, guys, it's been another fun episode, and we will see you next week. Where's that? Where did my video go?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.